Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, your leg muscles locked tight, as if someone was squeezing them with all their strength? You sit up, gasping for breath, rubbing your calf, just praying the pain will ease? If you're over 60, that feeling might not be a stranger to you. I've heard it from dozens, maybe even hundreds of my patients. One gentleman named John, 72 years old, once told me, "Doctor, I'm not afraid of aging, but I am afraid of that feeling, being ripped out of sleep by a cramp so sharp it leaves me drenched in sweat. Every time it happens, I feel weaker, more helpless." And I understood. Leg cramps are not just ordinary muscle spasms. They're thieves of sleep. They remind us that time is moving forward. They shake our confidence in our own bodies. But let me share something with you. Something simple. Something that could change those restless nights. It's not an expensive pill. It's not some exotic food from far away. It's something you can pick up at your local grocery store. An avocado. Now you might be thinking, really, doctor, an avocado can help my legs? I smile when I hear that, because I've heard the question 100 times before. Let me explain in the simplest way. In your body, magnesium works like a natural brake. Every time your muscles tighten, magnesium tells them, relax, let go, rest. And potassium? Potassium is like the gear shifter in a car. It keeps nerve signals running smoothly, allowing muscles to move in rhythm, not in chaos. Without magnesium, your muscles don't know how to release. Without potassium, the nerve signals misfire, like faulty wiring sending sparks in all directions. And the result? A painful cramp that wakes you at 2 a.m. Now here's the gift of the avocado. Just half of one contains both magnesium and over 700 milligrams of potassium. I often tell my patients, think of it as a two-in-one. The brake and the gear shifter, all in one fruit. That's what lets your legs finally rest at night. Mary, 68, once sat in my office with tired eyes. She said, "Doctor, I've taken calcium pills, I've tried every supplement, but I still get cramps every night. I thought maybe this is just something I'll live with forever." I suggested something simple. Mary, try half an avocado in the evening, about 90 minutes before bed. Spread it on whole grain toast, mash it with a little lemon, or simply eat it with a spoon. She looked at me like I must be joking, but she agreed. 2 weeks later, she came back, her face transformed. "Doctor," she said, "I can't believe it. I slept through the night. No cramps, no sudden pain. Just from an avocado. My body feels different." And her eyes, they were shining. The kind of eyes I wish for every older patient. The eyes of hope and of relief. I want you to imagine this. It's evening. You're sitting in your kitchen. On the table is half of a ripe avocado, green and smooth. Maybe you sprinkle a little sea salt, a squeeze of lemon, or maybe you just take a spoon and scoop it slowly, savoring the creamy taste. Then you head to bed, and instead of waking up in agony, your body lets go. Your legs rest, and sleep comes gently. Sometimes health doesn't come from big, complicated things. Sometimes it comes from something as small and humble as an avocado. And science backs this up. A 2012 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults with higher magnesium intake had significantly fewer nighttime cramps. And here's more good news. Avocados don't just give you magnesium and potassium. They also provide healthy fats, nourishing your heart, your brain, even calming inflammation in your joints. So when you eat half an avocado, you're not just helping your legs, you're helping your whole body. One man, 75 years old, once told me, "I used to think aging meant I had to accept pain. But then I realized, if I listen to my body and give it what it needs, I can live these years differently, stronger, freer." That's the message I want to give you. If cramps are waking you, don't see them as the end. See them as a signal, a gentle reminder from your body. I need magnesium. I need potassium. I need a little care. And an avocado, yes, something as simple as that, can be one beautiful way to answer that call. So here's a little challenge for you tonight. Before bed, try half an avocado. Put it on a small plate. Sit down. Eat it slowly. Then wait. See what your body says after 7 to 10 days? Do you wake up less often? Are your legs calmer at night? Does your sleep feel deeper, more refreshing? Let the avocado answer for you, because sometimes the key to aging well isn't hidden in a gym or a pill bottle. Some it's sitting quietly in your kitchen, waiting for you. Have you ever found yourself in this situation? It's the middle of the night. You're sound asleep and suddenly, like a bolt of electricity, pain shoots through your calf. You sit up, desperate, trying to stretch it out, rubbing, even pacing in the dark, hoping the cramp will let go. And then the next morning, the muscle still feels heavy, sore, as if you just run a marathon in your sleep. One of my patients, Richard, 70 years old, once told me, "Doctor, I've tried drinking more water. I've eaten bananas. I even take magnesium supplements. But when a cramp hits, it all feels useless. I just have to ride it out in pain." Does that sound familiar? I think many of us have been there. But here's the surprising part, something most people don't know. There's a kind of switch in your body, and you can flip it to shut down a cramp in as little as 85 seconds. And the key to that switch, oddly enough, comes from something sitting quietly in your refrigerator. Pickle juice. I know what you might be thinking. Pickle juice? Really? It's salty, sour, a little harsh, hardly what you'd imagine as medicine. But science is often both strange and beautiful. Let me explain this as simply as I can. When a cramp hits, most people assume it's dehydration, or lack of salt, or missing minerals. And sometimes, yes, that's part of it, but not always. Sometimes the problem isn't in the muscle. It isn't even in the blood. It's in the nervous system. Inside your mouth and throat are special receptors, tiny switches. When you take a sip of pickle juice, those receptors fire instantly, sending a message to your nervous system. That message shuts down the misfiring loop between your nerves and your muscles, the very loop that's causing the spasm. And it works so quickly that within about 85 seconds, the muscle begins to release. The pain melts away, almost before you can believe it. Back in 2010, researchers at North Dakota State University proved this. People with active cramps who drank pickle juice cut their cramp time nearly in half compared to drinking water. And here's the key detail. It worked far too fast to be about sodium or potassium being absorbed. This isn't about pouring electrolytes into your tank. This is about the nervous system. It's about reflexes. In other words, pickle juice doesn't refuel the engine. It flips the switch on the alarm system. I think of Linda, 67, one of my patients who suffered nightly cramps. She kept a little bottle of pickle juice by her bed. Her secret weapon, she called it. She told me, "At first I thought it was silly, but the first night I tried it, I nearly cried with relief. I was in pain. I took a sip, held it in my mouth for 10 seconds and swallowed. Within moments, the muscle let go. I felt saved." Now you might laugh. Pickle juice? That's it. But put yourself in the shoes of someone who's lost sleep to cramps for years. For them, that one small sip feels like freedom, like getting control of their body back. So how do you use it? It's simple. Just 1 to 2 ounces, that's one good sip, is enough. When the cramp starts, take a sip. Hold it in your mouth for 10 to 15 seconds before swallowing. That activates the nerve reflex. You don't need much, and you shouldn't overdo it, especially if you're watching your sodium. But as an emergency tool, it's powerful. And that's the point. This is not a long-term cure. It's not a daily habit. Think of pickle juice like a little fire extinguisher you keep in the house. You don't spray it every day, but when the flames come, you're grateful it's there. One patient once asked me, "Doctor, how can something so simple work better than all the pills I've tried?" And I said, "Because the body isn't just a machine that runs on fuel. It's a symphony. And sometimes all it takes is one note at the right time to bring the whole orchestra back into rhythm." Pickle juice is that note. It reminds us that healing doesn't always come from the pharmacy or the lab. Sometimes it's waiting in a humble jar of pickles in the corner of your kitchen. I want you to imagine this. It's late at night. The cramp hits, sharp and sudden. But instead of stumbling around in agony, you reach for that small bottle by your bed. One sip, salty, sour, bracing. You hold it, then swallow. Within a minute, your muscle lets go. You exhale, lie back down, and drift off to sleep. Now think about how different your nights could feel when you no longer fear being yanked awake in pain because you know you hold the key. So I'll leave you with a question. How many other answers in life might be this simple? Answers we overlook because they seem too ordinary, yet they could change everything? Pickle juice is just one example. It reminds us that sometimes the solutions aren't complicated at all. So if cramps are robbing you of sleep, maybe give your body this chance. Keep a small bottle by your bed. And the next time a cramp strikes, instead of despair, you can smile and say, I know exactly what to do. Let me ask you this. Have you ever woken up in the morning after a night of cramps, and even though the pain is gone, your legs still feel heavy, drained, as if the strength has been quietly stolen from you? One of my patients, Susan, 69 years old, told me something I'll never forget. She said, Doctor, I just want to walk with my granddaughter in the park without worrying my legs will give out. But after a night of cramps, I feel like I've aged 10 years by morning. And I understood exactly what she meant. Because here's the truth. Cramps aren't just about those few minutes of pain. They leave a shadow, a weakness that lingers. Now here's where something surprisingly sweet comes into the picture. A food that feels almost like a treat, but inside carries the very minerals your muscles are crying out for. I'm talking about dates. You've probably seen them. Those wrinkled little fruits, soft and sticky, often used around the holidays. But inside those little bites are two powerful allies, magnesium and potassium. Remember what we said before? Magnesium is the body's natural brake pedal. It helps your muscles let go, release, exhale. Potassium, on the other hand, is like the gear shifter. It keeps nerve signals smooth and balanced so your muscles don't misfire. When you combine both, the brake pedal and the gear shift, you create harmony. And dates give you that harmony in a single bite. But that's not all. Dates also carry something unique. Natural sugars for quick energy, wrapped in fiber that slows absorption, so your blood sugar stays steady instead of spiking. It's like having a gentle wave of energy, not a roller coaster. And here's the hidden gem. Dates are rich in antioxidants. These are the compounds that calm inflammation, ease the silent irritation in your muscles, and support faster recovery. So in one small fruit, you're getting minerals, steady energy, and natural anti-inflammatory power. Susan once told me she started keeping a small container of dates on her kitchen counter. Every evening, about an hour before bed, she'd eat two or three. She said, "It feels like dessert, doctor. But when I wake up, my legs don't ache as much. It's like my body is quietly thanking me overnight." That made me smile because so often we think health means restriction, giving things up. But here's an example where something sweet, something enjoyable, can also be deeply healing. I want you to picture this. It's evening. You're sitting at your table. Instead of reaching for a cookie, you pick up a date. It's soft, rich, caramel-like in flavor. You chew slowly, almost as if savoring a secret. And while you enjoy that moment, your body's already preparing, absorbing magnesium, potassium, antioxidants, arming your muscles for the night ahead, so that when you lie down instead of a restless sleep interrupted by cramps, your body is quietly repairing, strengthening, restoring. Sometimes healing really can taste this sweet. Science supports this too. Multiple studies have shown that magnesium intake is strongly linked to fewer nighttime cramps, and potassium plays an essential role in fluid balance and muscle relaxation. Together, they're like the quiet guardians of your sleep. And what I love about dates is that they're simple, natural, accessible. No complicated recipes, no expensive pills, just a few small fruits, nature's own energy packs. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you gave yourself permission to enjoy something sweet? Not as a guilty pleasure, but as medicine. Because dates remind us that food can be both joy and healing at the same time. So tonight, maybe try two or three dates in the evening. Taste the sweetness and see how your body responds after a week. Do you wake up lighter? Do your legs feel steadier, less restless? Let the answer come not from theory, but from your own experience. Because sometimes the path to stronger legs and calmer nights doesn't begin in the pharmacy. It begins with something as simple, as ordinary, and as sweet as a date. Let me tell you a story. A patient of mine, Barbara, 73 years old, once came to me looking utterly tired. She said, "Doctor, I feel like my legs are no longer mine. They cramp, they ache, they don't carry me the way they used to. I just want to keep up with my grandchildren in the park, but I'm always afraid my legs will give out." As she was talking, I thought about something tiny. So tiny it almost seems unbelievable that it could make a difference. Yet inside those little specks lies a powerhouse for the body. I'm talking about chia seeds. At first glance, chia seeds don't look like much. Just small black dots, like peppers scattered on a plate. But don't let their size fool you. Each one is packed with magnesium, calcium, and omega-3 fatty acids. Three keys that work together to relax muscles, reduce inflammation, and strengthen bones. Think of magnesium as the body's natural brake pedal, helping your muscles release tension. Calcium, on the other hand, is like the strong frame of a house, the foundation that keeps your bones sturdy so your muscles have something solid to anchor to. And omega-3s, they're like the soothing oil in an old machine, calming inflammation, keeping everything running smoothly. When you take all three together, brake pedal, foundation, and soothing oil, you begin to create resilience. Not just less cramping, but a stronger, steadier body that can carry you through your days with more confidence. Barbara was skeptical when I first suggested it. "Seeds, doctor? You mean those little things people sprinkle on smoothies?" "Yes," I said, smiling, "but don't underestimate them. Sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest power." She decided to try. Each morning she stirred a spoonful of chia seeds into a glass of water, let them soak for 10 minutes until they turned into a gel, and drank it with breakfast. 2 weeks later, she returned with a sparkle in her eye. "Doctor, my nights feel different. The cramps don't wake me up the way they used to. I feel steadier." That moment reminded me of something profound. Healing doesn't always come with a loud announcement. Sometimes it comes quietly, from something as humble as a spoonful of seeds. I want you to imagine this. You take a tablespoon of chia seeds and drop them into water. You wait. Slowly, those tiny dots swell, forming a soft gel. When you drink it, you're not just swallowing seeds. You're giving your muscles a steady release of minerals, fiber, and hydration. The fiber in chia seeds acts like a time-release system. Instead of flooding your body all at once, it delivers nutrients slowly, keeping your blood sugar stable and your energy consistent. That stability matters, especially at night, when your muscles crave calmness and balance. And here's something beautiful. Chia seeds don't just fight cramps. They support your digestion, protect your heart, and even give your brain a little boost with those omega-3s. In a way, they're a gift to the whole body, not just the legs. Science backs this up too. Research has shown that diets rich in magnesium and omega-3s are linked to fewer muscle cramps and less inflammation overall. And calcium, as we know, is essential for keeping bones dense and strong, especially after the age of 60 when bone loss accelerates. So when you add chia seeds into your routine, you're not just treating cramps, you're investing in the strength of your bones, the calmness of your nerves, and the endurance of your muscles. Barbara told me something at the end of her visit that touched me deeply. She said, "Doctor, I used to think my body was betraying me. Now I realize it was just asking for the right kind of care. And it turns out that care was as simple as seeds." Her words still echo in me. Because it's true. Our bodies are always speaking, always asking. Sometimes in whispers, sometimes in cramps. And our job is to listen. So here's my invitation to you. Tonight or tomorrow morning, try a spoonful of chia seeds. Soak them in water, stir them into oatmeal, or blend them into a smoothie. Give it a week, maybe two. And notice, do your nights feel calmer? Do your legs feel stronger, less restless? Because sometimes the answer to leg cramps doesn't come in the form of a pill. Sometimes it comes in the quiet resilience of a tiny seed. Have you ever noticed this? On a hot day, maybe you've spent the afternoon in the garden or walking around the neighborhood. By evening, your legs feel heavy, almost like you're dragging weights behind you. And then, sometime in the middle of the night, you're suddenly wide awake. Your calf muscle twisting, seizing, pulling so tight it feels like a vice. A patient of mine, Mr. Harold, he's 71, described it this way. Doc, it feels like my own body turns against me in my sleep. I drink water, but somehow I still wake up cramped, stiff, and exhausted. That's when I asked him, what if it's not just about drinking water, but about the kind of hydration your body truly needs? Because here's the truth. When we sweat, when we move, when we live each day, our bodies don't just lose water, we lose electrolytes, minerals like potassium, magnesium, and sodium. And without them, your muscles don't know how to behave. They misfire, seize, and cramp. And the gentle, natural solution? Coconut water. Now, you might be thinking, coconut water? Isn't that something trendy for young people at the gym? I smile when I hear that, because for decades in many tropical countries, coconut water has been nature's original rehydration drink. Long before sports drinks were bottled and branded, people were cracking open coconuts to restore what their bodies had lost. Let me explain why it matters for you, especially if you're over 60 and struggling with nighttime leg cramps. Coconut water is rich in potassium, and potassium is like the conductor of an orchestra. It keeps the electrical signals between your brain and your muscles in harmony. Without it, the music turns into noise, spasms, cramps, misfires. It also contains magnesium, the body's natural muscle relaxer. Think of magnesium as the brake pedal, gently easing tense muscles back into calm. And yes, it has a touch of sodium, which helps your body actually hold on to the fluids you drink instead of flushing them all away. Together, these minerals turn plain water into something far more powerful, true hydration. I remember another patient, Linda, age 68. She told me, Doctor, I drink glass after glass of water, but my legs still feel heavy by bedtime. It's like I'm filling up a leaky bucket. I suggested she try swapping just one of those glasses for coconut water in the afternoon. Nothing extreme, just a small 8-ounce glass. When she came back 2 weeks later, she was glowing. I can't believe it, she said. My legs don't feel weighed down anymore. And for the first time in months, I slept through the night without a single cramp waking me up. It wasn't magic. It was simply giving her body what it was quietly begging for all along. Electrolytes. Now I want you to imagine this. It's evening. You're sitting in your kitchen. Instead of pouring another plain glass of water, you open the fridge and reach for a bottle of chilled coconut water. You pour it into a glass, sip slowly, and feel the light, slightly sweet taste refresh your mouth. Later that night, you lie down to sleep. Your legs feel lighter. The heaviness you used to dread isn't there. You close your eyes and instead of bracing for a sudden jolt of pain, you drift into a deeper, calmer rest. Sometimes health doesn't come from big, complicated changes. Sometimes it's as simple as the glass you drink. Science has confirmed this too. Studies show that dehydration and low electrolyte balance are two of the most common causes of muscle cramps, especially in older adults. And unlike artificial sports drinks, coconut water delivers these minerals in a natural, easily absorbed form, without the dyes, without the excess sugar. Just nature's formula, as clean as it gets. For many of my patients, one small glass, about a cup, each afternoon or early evening makes all the difference. Not too much, not too little. Just enough to refill the tank before bedtime. And I'll tell you what I told Harold and Linda. Coconut water is not a miracle cure. It's not about replacing your medicine or skipping the basics of good nutrition, but it is a reminder that our bodies don't just need water, they need balance. Balance of fluids, minerals, and care. So next time your legs feel heavy or you wake up fearing that sharp, cruel cramp, ask yourself, am I just drinking water or am I truly hydrating? The answer might just be sitting quietly on the grocery store shelf, waiting for you to notice. A simple, humble bottle of coconut water. Before I let you go, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried coconut water for cramps? Did it help? Or do you have another trick that works for you? Drop a comment below. I read them, and I learned so much from your stories. And if today's conversation gave you something useful, please give this video a like. It tells YouTube to share it with others who might be struggling too. And don't forget to subscribe. This channel is about building a community, a place where we share simple, science-backed ways to age with strength, comfort, and dignity. When you subscribe, you're not just following a channel, you're joining a family of people who believe that every stage of life can be lived with vitality. And if you know someone, a spouse, a sibling, a friend, who keeps waking up at night with cramps, share this video with them. It might be the simple reminder they need. Until next time, take care of your body, be gentle with your legs, and remember, sometimes the path to better sleep and stronger muscles can be as simple as a glass of coconut water.